Hi, thanks for joining me today as I go a little bit more in depth about MySoclab. We've talked about some of the basics of how MySoclab can be used in your Intro to Sociology class, but I want to go over in a little bit more detail why it's so beneficial for you and your students to use MySoclab. The main thing about MySoclab is its proven results. Studies show that the students who use MySoclab get better grades. So that's one of the key things. You can watch the video and it will really go into a lot of detail about the efficacy of MySoclab. Now that I've said that, I want to point out just on the home page here, when you and your students access the site, everything that you need to get started is right here on the home page. So if there's any trouble, any problems with logging in, anything like that, you direct your students to right here on this home page, and it will let them help to troubleshoot and solve for themselves. And same thing for you. I know sometimes I'm not always available. This way you can get them or get the information that you need when I'm not around. So before you get started, the first thing that you want to do to make sure that you and your students have the best experience is the browser tune-up. And I'm going to just walk through it really quick. The browser tune-up is a great way to make sure that you don't have any issues with the videos playing, the ebook, anything like that. And as you can see, I need to install the Acrobat Reader. I'm not going to do it right now, but also pop-up blocks, Google Chrome is the preferred browser. So these are the things that you will find and your students will find that are going to impact their use of the program. So we'll close out of that. And let's go ahead and we will sign in. You all each have your own accounts that I've set up for you so you can explore later. But for right now, I'm going to sign in using a demo account. Okay, so we've logged into the course for the Mishona's textbook that you guys are using, and this is the home page. And what's interesting to note on this home page is that the students and the instructors both have the same experience. The only thing that's different for the instructors is you'll notice you have instructor resources down here that the students will not be able to see. What I want you to notice when you log in is that all of the resources are on the left-hand side, so it's very easy to navigate. A lot of people say it has a look of Blackboard. Now, we went over the e-text and the chapter audio the last time that we spoke, and the calendar and how to assign things, but I want to go into more detail about the resources and exactly how you can use these things in your course. So one of the key applications that's specific to MySoclab is the Social Explorer. And this is a wonderful resource that really helps students to understand census data and how they can apply this and really think like a sociologist. So let's take a look at MySoclab Explorer. There is an assignment for each chapter. Let's just go in here to chapter 1 and take a look at it. Now, when they're on the assignment calendar, there's actually going to be questions at the end of these, multiple choice, just a couple of little multiple choice questions so that students can really gauge their assessment and get an idea of how they are understanding it. So this is the Social Explorer, and it starts out with just kind of a question to the students and then a scenario. And then essentially what it does is it puts the the census data into view so that students can really get a good understanding of that specific assessment. You'll see that they're also able to make a report, they can export it, they can share it, they can save all of their projects right there. So that's in a nutshell the Social Explorer. Do you guys have any questions? The other resource that I want to point out to you is actually several resources, and these are all contained under the Student Resources tab. And what's nice about these is you can simply make this available to your students and let them know that these resources are here. Students really like the flashcards. They also, for any papers that you would assign, that the Search Lab is a great tool that students can use. And then you also have the blog, the Sociology in Focus blog, which is a really good micro reader that really examines pop culture, everyday life, and current events through a sociological perspective. But the one thing that I want to focus on is the Social Library. And why that is so important to you guys is because you assign outside readings, and sometimes your students have to purchase additional texts and articles that you're copying and printing. And with my Social Library, you and your students have access to all of these documents and readings that you are already assigning. So there's no need for you to have them purchase anything additional. All of this is contained right here on the library site. And you can see the table of contents. They can also, it's fully searchable. They can take notes on it. Let's just take a look here through one of them. So again, they can highlight, take notes, they can search for something specific, but then you can also use these in class. They can print them out as well. So this is a great resource that's at no extra charge for your students. And the last thing is the core concept video series. And you'll notice that the videos are contained in two places so that your students have access to them either through the student resources or right here on the left-hand navigation bar. And the core concept video series is, as it says here, 6 video types. It's got all of the major 21 major subject areas. And let's just take a look here so you can kind of get, and it's broken down. So they're short little snippets, but then it's broken down into the topics. And we'll just take a look here. And one thing too, I just noticed this is important, the PDF transcript is available as well. So for those students with ADA issues. Oh, I've got my volume muted here.
Many of you are probably wondering what jobs you will find when you graduate and how the information you are learning in class can help you in your career.
So you notice it's only a 4-minute video. So it's
also
this is a very short, to the point video that you can use in the classroom. You can use it as a lecture launcher at the beginning of class, and give students, some more detailed information. It's really engaging for students too. They really enjoy watching the videos. So those are some of the key things here too. This is a little bit more in depth, but I want to make sure that you know that it's available. We do have the writing space and the writing practice where you can create your own assignments. There are also auto-graded assignments, and we'll go into that a little bit more in detail the next time. But I think for now you've got a pretty good idea of what's contained within MySoclab. And then also too, just keep in mind that all of these resources can be paired with your learning management system, so Blackboard in this case. So students have a single sign-on experience. You can have all of the resources really as an extension of your LMS, and I've gone into that in a little bit of detail, and we can go ahead and get your accounts linked up so that it's an easy transition. Alright, well, thanks for your time, and if you have any other questions, just let me know.